Hey, welcome to the show. I'm Yanni Rude.
And I'm just Terrell. You ever been out somewhere and overheard two people having crazy conversations?
Yeah, well, we are those people. We've been having these conversations since college.
Yep, it's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts Podcast, Never Ever Met's Season 2, Episode 7 recap. Be sure to like, subscribe, rate, and leave a review.
Tanya says, I cannot wait to get into this one. Jada says, this episode was so messy, I had to catch the live show. And we appreciate you checking in from Chicago.
Chi-town.
This was indeed a messy show. It was a lot happening. And at the same time, I felt it was anticlimactic.
Yep.
Am I alone in this?
No, I was expecting what we were all expecting for the blow up to come once the secret is out.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a big nothing burger.
Like, that's what it felt like. Hey, shout out to YouTube channel member Nisha Joy saying, hello, everyone. Tanya says, I love the 7 o'clock live. Time to get home, change into comfy clothes. Yes, why don't you slip into something more comfortable?
You stop it. Marcus, darling.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Y'all are nuts, man. Look, let's go ahead and do it, man. We just got to get into it because there's a lot of nonsense to get into. Like it's something to be said, just showed some immaturity and low priorities of some people. Yes, we're going to get into all of that.
Yep.
But first, we got to start with another level of is it immaturity? Because these two, they just don't get it. Britney and Ty, man. First, Britney, we see her talking with Kiki, says she's not going to the boom boom room with Ty, and there's nothing he can do to change her mind.
She's just not feeling him.
Why is she
what it boils down to. She's just not. I don't know either. I mean, they were talking for 3 months before they came onto this, met up at the show. Mm-hmm. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, she's not feeling it. And I don't think it was all because of that fight they had when they were having the barbecue. At the pool.
No, it definitely wasn't just because of that. But, so here's the thing. Elson says, Alexa, play Never Gonna Get It by En Vogue for Ty.
Now, I wonder if somebody's Alexa's going to go off. I wonder if somebody's Alexa's going to go off. That happened last time.
Yeah, that's why I unplugged mine. Toya says she's just not that into him. Yes, just like the movie. Nope. Definitely not. Michael Cable says like brother and sister. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Because Ty takes Britney on a second date to his crib for crab legs.
Mm-hmm.
It's a second date, and you're going to the house. Is he wrong for this?
No. Because he lives right down the street. Why not? You don't want to cook crab legs in the house when everyone else there because they're going to want some.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to have private time. So he wanted to bring her to his place, his comfort zone, let her see how he lives, and show her this romantic side that he had been selling via video. I thought it was a great move. If she liked him.
Since you brought up his space that they were in, can you explain to me why his big screen is right next to his couch and not across from the couch?
Don't know.
I just want to. I don't know. I know it's minor, and it's probably some sort of feng shui thing to do, but
yeah,
I didn't understand it. I saw it, and it's like shoes in the house. It stood out. You all right over there?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Now, Ty breaks out to Basil Hayden. Talks about sugar on the rim, and she's like, I'm sweet enough. And so he says, well, let me see. Were you surprised that Britney gave him a kiss?
I mean, it was a reluctant kiss, but at least he got something out the deal. I mean, I don't blame him for wanting more than that, because if I'm making you crab legs in my house, I should get more than a peck. Not saying I got to go all the way, but
Damn.
expect a little bit more than a peck.
Really?
I would. I mean, they've been talking for a while. 3 months talking back and forth. You haven't had that in person, chemistry, connection, romance. This is your chance to do it.
Tanya says, just tell him you're not into him, but don't eat his food. Crabs are expensive. It's her favorite. She's going to eat it. Monica says she wasn't expecting to go to his house. And Matt, great question. My question is, where did he get the crab legs? He's been in the house for 2 weeks.
Come on. That's easy. That's an easy fix. You can DoorDash crab legs to your house. It's easy.
And he did do, to be fair, he did do those boards, on the menu and chalk, took that out of the kindergarten class and wrote on it.
Yeah, he did. So there was that.
Now he is trying hard, right? And here's the thing: you said it was a peck, and he's trying really hard because he's even like, what? No tongue, no this, no. And Britney says she's not feeling it. She tells us she's not feeling it, but she doesn't want to, quote unquote, hurt his feelings.
Why would you hurt his feelings for not showing affection to him? And I find it interesting that she doesn't. This is how I know she doesn't like him. Like my girlfriend, if she's cooking, I'm gonna come up behind her, kiss her on the neck all the time. But she likes me. Yeah. Where in this case, Britney doesn't. So this is why it bothers her. It's not so much every man that Britney's be involved with would have to let her make the first move. It's just she doesn't like Ty.
Right. Baby Doll has a great question. Am I the only one offended that Brit can fly out to his house for the show, but can't fly to his apartment in the same state?
They didn't fly out to his house. He lives in LA where they're shooting. So he just got an Uber to take them back to his house.
And she's in Texas, actually. She's from Houston, right? Yeah. So,
but they could have met a long time ago if they really wanted. All of these couples. So that's a good question for all the couples. They all could have met a long time ago.
Monica says she doesn't like his silly personality. He's become a turnoff for her. I can see that because she did kind of say that, right? And Assumpta B says Brit is on maternity leave. She's trying to milk her vacation away from baby. She won't be leaving with him. Yeah, she might be leaving a little faster because even though Ty's right there before the food, he's like, all right, before you eat these crab legs, let me try one more. We had a little hiccup, but we're over that now. And she's like, whatever. Can I eat?
Say grace, damn. So I can eat.
Amen.
Yeah.
I didn't say the grace yet. It's okay. I'm about to eat. Is Alexis right? Because finally, Alexis has been wrong about a lot of stuff, right? And when Britney and Ty get back to the house, Alexis says Ty should have probably just dropped Britney off at the door and gone to F home.
Yeah.
He didn't even need to come back in the house with her. Just leave her because she don't want him.
After the little bit of affection he got at his own house, in his comfort zone, after he cooked the crab legs, I'd have done just that.
Right.
Hey, I get it. You're not feeling me, and that's totally cool. I wish you well in all your future endeavors. You can get out. Take me back to the house.
Elle said, I thought about this earlier too. Elle says his silly personality, but Britney's tickling Cinco. Yes.
Yeah. I'm surprised Jay didn't check her for that.
Jay ain't worried about Britney. She's like, no. Cinco got that shower. He ain't going nowhere.
She has a little more couth.
Yeah, because I know one of the things that definitely irk you is when we get to this next couple in a second. But first, I want to say thank you to everybody who's in here right now, whether you're part of the live crew and in the live chat, or whether you're watching this later, part of the replay gang. Do us a favor, please hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications.
Yeah.
Tatiana and Clavacia. I just realized I had been saying it wrong. I thought it was Clavacia. No, it's Clavacia.
Why he goes by Clay?
Yeah. Well, people go by shorter versions of names that aren't there. So I'm just saying it could have been anything. When we first see them, they're locked in, and as Clay said, they're doing what comes naturally because you see them in the afterglow of the boom boom room. Now, his friend is coming, right? Mm-hmm. He told us before he wants to tell Tati about his secret when his best friend gets there.
Yep.
But come to find out, Tati has gone to sleep. He's telling everybody else about his friend and how she's a porn star. an adult entertainer.
Why?
Was this necessary?
No, like why would you say that? It'd be one thing if he said my baby's mom is a porn star or something, but if this is your friend that you've never hooked up with, why would you share any of that? That's not a flex.
Well, there may be a reason. We'll find out. But for some people, it is a flex.
How? Because you have a friend that's a porn star, that makes you cool?
Some people may think that.
No.
You don't. I don't. But
I got friends. I got friends in jail. That doesn't give me street cred. Who cares? I get nothing off that.
Sly says Clay's for the streets. Well, is he really though? I mean, Jamila, as he is described as the big sister he always wanted, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She comes to visit. She walks in, and she gives him, that sibling hug.
Yeah, big hug. And this is where I take Jamila's side. That hug was blown way out of proportion. She didn't wrap her legs around his waist. He had picked her up. Her right leg kind of came to the side of his leg, but that's as far as it went.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it was. But everyone else made it seem like this big deal. I thought this was insane.
Okay. Did you notice Brittany and Charlie in the background when that hug happened? Because Brittany immediately runs to go tell everybody else, right? But the thing I noticed immediately from this hug that you're saying, it wasn't as everybody said. When Clay's going around introducing her to everyone,
yeah,
Tati just kind of walks off awkwardly. Like, this just doesn't feel genuine, right?
It did feel weird because I would have thought that he'd have said, hey, Jamila, this is Tati. This is what I've been telling you about. That would have gave Jamila a chance to go, oh, Tati, great to meet you. Give her a hug. I've heard so many great things about you. I'm so happy you and Clay are together. That would take all the questioning out. But he introduced her like this is his girl. Mm-hmm. Hey, everybody, this is Jamila.
Yeah.
And so Tati hears that and just walks up. I thought that whole exchange was weird.
Elson says the house put 10 on 20 about that hug. Matt A says the hug was wrong.
Agree to disagree.
Felicia says the house hyped Tati up. I know she watched back and felt embarrassed for her reaction.
I hope she does. Michael
Cable says not a porn hug. And Jada says she was still super touchy-feely, though. She really was, right? She really was.
True.
And we'll get to some of that, too, because here's the thing. The rest of the house is having so much fun talking about that hug and laughing and joking and going about it so much that they gassed Tatiana up to go confront Clay. I already know you're not a fan of her reaction, but if you're going to go react like that,
yeah,
should it be towards the woman or to the man you're dating? If you're Tati,
probably at the man you're dating, not the woman. But that whole confront her and try to act like you want to fight, that was just immature and childish in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Even still, Baby Doll says the hug wasn't that bad, but Jamila should have been more mindful and respectful of Tati. Jay Sayso says, I agree with El said. The hug was marginal at best. Dorica says, hug was definitely inappropriate. Jumping on him, then all touchy-feely with him afterwards. Now, that's the part, because I think it's a little more. And Tanya, I did see that. We'll get back to that comment in a little bit, because I think I saw the same thing that you saw, but I saw it a while back. I hadn't gone back to look at it yet. We'll talk about that in a little bit too, right? But it's one of those things where I think the issue is in the reaction from Tatiana, right? Because one of the things that even Jamila says is Tatiana's behavior is not worthy of being a stepmother to Clay's child.
Mm-hmm.
Is she right there?
If that's the behavior that I saw, yes. Because he has a daughter. So you would think, right, when women have a son, they're trying to find somebody that can be a good male role model. Maybe not the father figure, because the dad could be in the picture, but still a good male role model. Would you want the same for a daughter, to have a good female role model? And watch the way Tati handled that, just going off ready to fight.
Yeah.
No, you don't want somebody like that.
Some to be says Tati going to attack and insult them. This is college stuff. You can have that convo privately with Clay. She lost that fight right there.
Yeah, she did. But going to go confront her out there and just talk, and you didn't even see the hug.
Yeah.
You were just going off what you were gaslit with from the other people who were there that liked the drama. And these are the same people who've known about his secret and apparently haven't told you all this time.
The fact that I just happened to scroll down in this chat. And it's funny because Mimi says, she, as in Jamila, lay it low and spread it wide for a living, and she's the godmother. So,
hey, don't slut shame. She's making money. She has an OnlyFans. So what? You can still be auntie.
Monica says, is a porn star worthy to be the godmother?
Can be.
I mean, I'm just saying. Maybe she's just paying her way through college. But here's the question I have. Are we sure this is not the baby mama? Because
I don't think it is.
Jamila and Clay are more than friends. The way she's all over him, when he's like, okay, I think you should leave. The hug she gave him is not a sisterly hug, interlocking hands on the back, face snuggled into the side of his neck. And as they're walking out, she's grabbing on his arm like, hey, honey, let's go home after this wonderful dinner. Let me pay you back. That's the kind of walk that she had on his arm as he's walking around like, yeah, baby, it's about to be a good night for you because dinner was sure enough was good.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they have any type of romantic history. I would think that what I thought was odd by the way she walked off. If you upset everybody based on this hug, why are you gonna clench arms and lean on his shoulders? Y'all are walking away, knowing everybody can see that through the window.
Yeah, exactly. That's and that's why I think a lot of it is more than what they're saying it is, right? So that's part of the issue there. Now, here's something that I saw because Tanya did put this up. His best friend and him were on a glamour clip. They have been with each other and hooked up. It's all over the internet. Saw it today. I've seen the glamour clip of dating. How well do you know your ex?
Right.
I couldn't remember if she was one of them, but I'm assuming that she was one of those people, right?
Yeah.
Toya also says he's been on multiple reality shows, and Lois Lane says, "Hey, look, they're playing in our face." Right?
Yeah.
They want another show as a love interest. I think the hugs and everything kind of give it to me that there is more to this from the
could be. Could be. All I'm saying is that jump up hug, the way that they try to bring it to Tati, like she wrapped both her legs around his waist.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
Sly A YouTube channel member says Clay probably has several women who are friends. However, he's a sorry player. Don't get high on your own supply. Because if that is somebody he used to deal with, was it right to bring them to this? Or is this the clip we're looking for?
Well, I think that all depends on how mature you are with stuff like that. Like for me, I wouldn't do that. I'm not gonna bring now. Could I bring someone in my past years ago? Could they meet like my girlfriend? Sure, that potentially happened. I wouldn't have brought her to the house like this in this scenario. No, I wouldn't have done that.
Thank you, Monica. She said she was one of them. I thought so because her face looked familiar, not because of what he said she did for a living.
She was one of them. What website did you go to, Yanni? Black? Was it
Godmothers.com?
Yeah. Pornhub, Black,
Godmothers
videos.
Godmother's gone wild. That's where I was. Now, Charlie says Jamila's hug was disrespectful. The fellas tell Clay the same thing, but you still disagree. You don't think the hug was disrespectful?
I don't think the hug was that big a deal, to be honest. I really don't think the hug was that big a deal. I think it got blown up. She didn't wrap her legs around him. I watched it 3 times. She did not wrap her legs around him. Her right leg was to the side of his because he picked her up and did a swing like this. Like,
give us that analysis again. Her right leg was
her right leg. Her right leg was to the outside of his left leg.
And what was the angle of the leg, sir?
Yeah, I just don't see it like she wrapped the way they made it sound like she wrapped her legs around his waist like they were doing, Kama Sutra or some kind. It wasn't like that.
Yeah, I don't think Dorica's believing you. She says, "Oh, please."
Don't know that. I just don't see the big deal.
And B says, "So the pickup and swing were okay."
Yeah, I don't see a big deal of that. If y'all have been friends that long since she was 7, they've known each other for at least 20 something years, however old they are, 20, maybe even 30 years. It's a big deal.
Dijon says, "Roll the tape back so we can see." Check tape. You can
Go
check
ahead.
tape, but hey, the way people are getting snatched and demonetized right now, yeah, we won't be rolling any tape.
Yeah, we're not going to play the tape on here, but yeah, check tape. She did not wrap her legs around him.
Hey, Michael says, "Stand up and show us."
Yeah.
Now, the fellas tell Clay to go apologize, right?
Mm-hmm.
He goes to apologize. And this is where I felt like after all this buildup over the last couple weeks,
Yeah.
the air was let out of the balloon just like,
Yeah.
because he finally tells Tati the secret, and she seems so unfazed that it makes me question everything about them.
Again, this is what I don't like about this season and last season are the lies.
Mm-hmm.
Tati knew he had a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Because for him to say, well, shoot, she mad, I might as well just tell her everything. I have a daughter. She's 2 months old. And Tati, 3 months old. And all Tati could do is, well, you're dumb. Because why would you let that girl wrap her leg around? Like, if she never knew that he had a daughter, to find out that he does, and the fact that everyone else knew, and she didn't, lies. You lied to our faces this whole time, building this up to be some big secret you're about to drop. It was a lie.
That's why it felt so bad. I'm like, wait a minute. That's it? Which I know at some point in your life, you have said that because the buildup was there. And then all of a sudden, that's it?
I've thought it. I've never said it out loud, but I've thought it. I've had moments.
You're like, girl, that is not what you said.
Hey, on both sides, because there's times like, man, Terrell, you was lying back there. There's no way. That was your fault. You overpromised and underdelivered. Just take the L.
I know, baby girl, it's just you. Too good. So Tati's mom, Shayna, comes to visit, and she explains to her mom what happened with Clay and Jamila, and again, blows off the fact that Clay has a child that he didn't tell her about.
Right, which any mom would have said, wait a minute. He's got a 3-month-old that you didn't know about? Mm-hmm. And y'all been talking for how long? 8 months?
Yeah.
Mom wouldn't even think about the girl on the leg wrap around the waist.
Yeah.
That's how I just know this is BS.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Mrs. PD Dr. CR says, I probably just messed that completely up, but hey, I don't have my spectacles on. Said he pissed Tati off with the disrespect, which he wasn't expecting. Something B says, no, I don't think she knew. I think she's more concerned about another woman than a newborn. Again, 0 priorities.
The fact that you're more concerned about that than the 3-month-old that he lied about for 8 months? Mm-hmm. No.
Nod Nabark says the mom was weird, and Dijon says, side note, Tati looks just like her mama. Copy, paste.
Does. I could totally see that.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting because the advice. How would you rate it?
The advice that the mom gave her?
Yeah.
Crazy. Mom, what would you do? I just have some fun. I just kick back and have some fun.
She's like, girl, I'm so proud of you for getting on the TV show and getting me on it too. Have fun.
We about to blow up, girl, when you get back.
Lucy B says, yeah. Mom was like, just play along and stay on the show to get your coin.
Yeah.
James says, why is she not worried about the baby mama? I mean, ain't that a little more threatening than Pornhub? Which again, my first question would have been, I said this to you before we jumped on here, was like, are we sure that's not the baby mama?
I don't think it is. There's nothing that tells me that she is. And if it was the baby mama, then Clay is just worse than we could have thought. But I just don't believe that.
Sly A says, what advice? Gabrielle says, advice. 1 out of 10. Do not recommend.
Yeah.
Under the olive branches says, that was weird. And Michael says, this is a match. Mom or daughter?
This is a match, mom or daughter.
Yeah, basically basically the same. Copy, paste.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing that Tati said, I'm just mad that a bitch tried me. I'm like,
yes, she didn't. She didn't try you. That's that hood stuff. See, that's why I don't date hood chicks. Chicks with twists. What's it called?
Those are locks.
Locks. Yeah, locks.
Stop it. They're not braids. What is wrong with you? Oh, Jesus. Well, the next morning, we wake up to some new house decorations, right? See, Tati woke up early. Before she did her yoga stretching outside, she decided, let me take these wonderful roses that Clavacia got me at the suggestion of his best sister girlfriend, slash probably ex-baby mama, and put these wonderful letters to show him how much I care. F you.
Yeah. That whole F you thing, how do you do that? I'm going to strategically place these flowers to form F you. Now I'm going to go namaste my ass outside and do some yoga.
Well, that's
namaste mad. Like that's what
no,
namaste mad.
That's why she did that first, so she wouldn't have to stay mad. Now she went outside and
yeah,
woosah.
No, she didn't. Namaste mad. She's I hate him. I hate him. She's thinking Warrior 1, I'm fighting. Warrior 2, I'm fighting. No.
Baby doll said the F you spelled out with the flowers was gangster. Mimi says that was petty and a little funny.
Yeah.
Lucy B says, I'm sorry, but the rose petals of FU was hilarious. Petty, but hilarious.
Yeah, very petty. And then you got to do some yoga after that. Just come on.
What's wrong with the yoga? She's trying to.
Nothing's wrong with the yoga, but yoga's supposed to be peaceful.
Yeah,
tranquil,
after you choose violence, you choose peace. Interesting is that Jay says something that I thought was right on point, right? It's something that we said all along. Tatiana gave herself to Clay. He did her dirty, so she has every right to be upset. However, we thought she'd be upset about the baby.
Right.
Are you saying that she's wrong to be upset at all?
No, I'm saying that she should be upset about the baby. The fact that all she's focusing on is this leg to the side of his leg. Mm-hmm. Yes, she's wrong for that.
And to be fair, you are correct. Apparently, her doing, as YouTube channel member Sly A says, rage yoga.
Yeah.
It did not calm her down. It did not bring the peace.
Nope.
Because, she comes in and she says, hey, you call her and you tell her she shouldn't have done that. And we get the phone call that was, this call felt so damn scripted. I'm sorry.
How high school is that? Well, I want you to call her, put it on speaker so I can listen and hear you check her. If you got to do all that, don't be with the dude. Mm-hmm. But the fact that he even tried to do it, I've learned a long time ago. Mm-hmm. Never call somebody with someone else on three-way to try to confront a situation.
No.
I've learned you should never do that. Nothing positive comes from that.
Okay, let me make a note of that. Story to tell about three-way call.
Positive comes from that. I know from experience.
We're going to have to address that in a regular episode. Behind the wall. Behind the member wall.
Oh goodness.
We gotta hear about that one.
Hey, I'll be happy to talk about it. I don't know if you want me to, but I'm happy to.
Now I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
You, sir, are an ass.
Got him.
My wife watches the show. What is wrong with you?
Oh, goodness.
I can't even let you walk me to that one.
I didn't give any details. I didn't say anything.
Hey, Tanya, no, we won't even get to that. Now, here's the thing, because everybody's a little upset about the fact that, one, Brandy says the best part was everybody listening to the kitchen. Mimi says, but he was mute while the quote-unquote friend was disrespecting his girl. Okay, before we get to the fact that Jamila was disrespecting Tatiana, let's get to, I want you to rate this, because somebody calls you. Your brother calls you. We're going to go with what they say. Your brother calls you with his girlfriend who's upset with you on the phone. And rate her burn on this, because she said, I'm sorry, I can tell that you're not in my tax bracket based on the fact that you were drinking wine out of a champagne flute. And I saw remnants of ice cubes in there.
You are beneath me. You are beneath me, is what she said. But
on a scale of 1 to 10, sir, how was that burn?
Oh, it was a 10. It was a hilarious burn, especially if you know what wines go in which glasses and why. Yeah, you shouldn't drink red wine out of a champagne flute. That doesn't make sense. But if that's all you got, I guess. But if you had class, you would know not to do that.
Oh, damn.
I'm just saying, I'm just saying people who drink wine that know wine would totally make fun of somebody that was drinking red wine out of a champagne flute. I would. I have champagne flutes, but I have red wine glasses. I have white wine glasses.
Well, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Staged home.
I do.
Baby doll says Jamila wasn't ish for that comment. Monica says she was disrespecting her on the phone. She wouldn't have said all that stuff to her face. And Materialistic says money doesn't equal class. I'm just gonna say that that's a very ironic comment from someone whose name is Materialistic.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I'm gonna leave that alone. But
I'm just gonna say that. I love you. But absolutely true. That's a very true statement. I'm just going to say that's a very true statement. Very, very, very true statement. The interesting thing, though, is at the very end, after the phone call is over, because Clay doesn't say anything till the final, well, you were wrong, and then they finally hang up the phone, and as Tatiana is there talking to everybody else and the thing, and she's just saying whatever she wants, and this bitch right here, just sitting right here, and he was like, what you call me?
Yeah. We've seen this before. What happened in season 1 when dude got called to be? He was out. Packed up. He was out.
Well, when he said, what you call me? The director said, cut. We need to move on to the next scene. So we get to therapy with Dr. Allie. Now, we praise Dr. Allie for what she did in her previous session, right? I believe that was with Kiki and Brandon, right?
Yeah.
Now, here she gets Tati and Clay. Tati says she feels hurt, and as she's saying that, Clay does what any man should do in that moment, reach over and console his woman. And she snatched away so fast, even Dr. Allie was taken back.
Nope. Here's what's funny about that to me was I love Dr. Allie. Yeah, I wish she could be on every single one of these shows somewhere. Yeah. Right? Because she gives great advice. I knew that the whole baby thing was BS because Dr. Allie wouldn't have passed that up. Right. Dr. Allie would have been like, wait a minute. Y'all been talking for how long and you got a 3-month-old? Right. Just like she did with Kiki. She's like, wait a minute. You were married, you're engaged. How long you been talking to him? And like the math is a math. And Dr. Allie would have called that out and she didn't. That annoyed me about this conversation. Sly says Dr. Allie knows what's up. No hope for these two. El Cid says Dr. Allie got a bad edit for Tati and Clay or was too late. Definitely too late. Yeah. But probably both also got a bad edit. When asked, Tati says she doesn't know if she's done. Yeah. And at that moment, I was done. Yeah. I was done when she came out and confronted Jamila. I was like, yeah, Tati. Because remember, we were rooting for her.
Yeah.
We were like, hey, Clay's been lying to her. This is messed up. Oh, don't go to the boom boom room with him.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just gonna get cracked. That's it. And we were rooting. Now I'm like, I feel nothing anymore.
Damn.
No emotion.
Nothing?
Nothing. Not a thing for her. I think that she walked into this, the way she behaved on all this makes her look bad, not Clay.
Mm-hmm.
Clay's gonna walk out of this unscathed. She's gonna be the one that's gonna get beat up in the comment sections of every YouTube video.
Mm-hmm. Well, Clay says, because Dr. Ali asked, how invested are you out of, on a scale of 1 to 10? Clay says 10. So 10 out of 10. He's all in. Tati says, well, I came in at a 7. And now I'm down to like a 2 or 3. And you talked about the cracking in the boom boom room. We saw Clay's face crack when she said that 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, are you surprised? No, he shouldn't have been.
He shouldn't have been surprised. But for her to be, and again, she's at a 2 or 3, all because of a right leg to the side of his leg, not the lie about the baby.
Mm. Yeah, because it should have been about the baby, but it wasn't. Well, look, later on they're inside, they're playing chess. Clay's still trying to touch Tati, and she's like, look, man, you don't get full granted access just because you said sorry. Is she right?
Well, true. You upset somebody. You're not going to, it's going to take some time. You just can't keep touching on. You still got to get some consent. But did you notice how she was kicking his butt in chess?
Yes. He's like, I'll teach you. I got this. She's like, I'll figure this down.
Yeah.
By the way, Baby Doll says Tati has a right to be upset, but dang, her attitude was just stank. Even after the therapy, she was being verbally abusive too. Was she, or was she just still upset?
Well, probably still upset, but still.
I mean, because, okay, he says, are you all in? She's like, no, I'm not all in. I'm not going to give my all. He's like, well, you need to give your all, or at least give him your all, because he wants some more.
Well, I mean, if you're going to try to make a relationship work, you can say, look, right now I'm mad at you. I don't want to give up in this relationship, but I need a little bit of space from you tonight. Okay. You could have easily said that.
Very mature.
And that's fine. But you didn't. And so he's like, are you all in? No, I'm not. Okay, so what do you want to do then? Do you want to keep working on this? I agree with Clay in that point.
Okay, so do you agree that when they were sitting at the dinner table and, he really gets in his feelings when he's like, are you ready to go to bed? And she's like, yeah, not with you. Why would you ask that question?
Right. Yeah, you don't make somebody mad and be like, come on, get in here. Big spoon.
He was thinking makeup sex probably. It's going to be amazing, right? James says, Tati says she wanted to punish him more, and I bet wanted that own gas card, but Clay was there. Because when he said that, when she said that to him, not with you, Clay got in his feelings, got up, walked out. All the fellas go down the hallway to talk to him. Cinco, Chris, Jared, and Brandon, they're all there trying to talk to him because he's ready to leave, and they're just like, dude, just chill. She's a woman. This is what they do. That's pretty much what they said.
That is. It's like, look, this is how women talk. This is how women are. It's so funny. The guys kept making those type of comments.
Yes.
You know why she mad? She a woman.
Now, we more level-headed, so you just calm down. We'll be fine. Cinco goes back to the kitchen, and even Tati's just like, all right, what is it now? But I like Cinco. He's done. He's like, man, I done talked to that man for 45 minutes. I'm done. Whatever.
Cinco gave him great advice. He said, hey, don't make a decision right now. You're upset.
Yeah.
You think this through. You put in all this work, all this time. Think this through. Sleep on it. Which to me is what they should have did, but Clay couldn't get it out of his head.
Baby Doll says, I don't blame Clay. He was wrong, but dang, you're not going to be mean to me for the rest of the stay. Well, at least for the rest of the day.
Let her be mad the rest of the day. Let her sleep on it. Mm-hmm. If she wake up still mad, well, then you got a problem.
If you wake up with that stank attitude, then yeah, you know what? No breakfast, we out.
Open her eyes. Just the MF I want to see.
Or like Elsa said, sleep on it for Clay meant sleep with me. Well, yeah. work it out.
Yeah.
So Clay pulls Tati from the kitchen, right? Says he doesn't think this is working. He doesn't want to waste his time. Then she calls him a man baby.
Which is no different than what she called him the night before that.
It's like it's just piling up, right? And this is where he is. He's just like, look. He says he started packing, and she's like, okay, so what you doing? You done? You leaving? But he can't even answer the question.
Right.
Is that right? I mean, because he's not making a decision in this moment.
He's not making a decision in this moment. He's wanting her to show some type of fight for him, is what I'm guessing. I have no idea. She says, so what are you going to do? He's like, I packed. I don't know if that meant like, what do you think I'm doing? I packed. But again, she could have easily said, look, I don't want to end this, but I need tonight. Let me sleep on it. Give me some space tonight. Let's talk about it tomorrow, but I don't want you to leave. Could have been mature and said that.
I think you're putting it all on her when, in fact, you know you messed up. You've been lying this whole time, right? You lied again with
supposedly.
Jamila. Yeah.
Supposedly lying.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
But even with Jamila, that's not big sister vibes. So let's be real. So there's another lie there, right? You got to at least give her some space to be mad, and I think you're just going to be able to get some loving right away again after that.
Yeah, but then he does tell her, no, I don't want to leave. So then she says, so what are we doing then? Instead of saying, I don't want you to leave either, but I need some space for tonight.
Yeah.
Let's sleep separately and let's talk about it tomorrow. Could have said that.
Well, she goes back into the kitchen and tells the group that you know, Clay's leaving, and Chris says, you know, none of this would have ever happened if it wasn't for that hug at the front door.
But he was right? Even a broke clock is right. Even a broke clock is right twice in 24 hours. He was right.
Yeah. Hey, Jay Say-So says, Clay cut his losses, skipped the impending torture that was about to happen. Now, the great philosopher Christopher Rockenstein said it years ago when he said, if she says it's over, count your blessings and get the hell out of Dodge as fast as you can. Because if not, and you stay around, she's going to torture you because she's going to get a revenge. So maybe he did do the right thing, right? Because he packs up, heads out. Jay says he's got a lot to learn. Or do you think he learned by just getting out? Like, yo, I'm done. I'm not dealing with this for another week, another 2 weeks. I don't need the rest of this check. We good.
Sometimes you got to burn a bridge. Just light that match and be like, well, this is over. And all history of this was over too. We are not going to connect. I'm not going to bump into you anywhere. I'm totally done. Sometimes you got to do that.
Well, that's kind of what Tati's saying when she blocked Clay on everything, right? So she said, I'm going to block him on everything. So they're out of the house. And again, we knew this was not going to last. But I'm just upset that we did not get the payoff to the buildup that we had. And I'm blaming the producers for the way they edited this. They dragged us the last couple episodes to this point, to caring about this baby. And then the baby comes and it's nothing.
Because they all knew about the baby. It was a lie.
You're going to stick with that, huh?
I'm going to stick with it. Nothing else makes sense to me. That has to be that they lied. And this is what the producers tried to do to get us hooked. Yeah. And it worked. So kudos to y'all. You did your job. But this show was BS.
Yeah. Everybody say El said saying, look, she had to have known. Actually, Aubrey says yes, very anticlimactic. It was bad. Matt A says, or the baby isn't real. There's another possibility.
But that just makes them even worse people. If you got to lie about having a kid.
She had a 3-month-old, so the baby probably isn't real.
Well, it's not Jamila's.
Sanan's fan says, did they even talk about the baby? She's more mad about a hug than the baby. Yeah, they talked about it, but there was nothing to talk about.
She focused on the hug. She went straight to the hug after he told her, oh, and I have a daughter. She's 3 months.
Yeah.
You dumb. Why you gonna let her put her leg around you? That's exactly what she went.
Well, that's how we got the baby. Lady J says, an inappropriate hug was way more damaging than a whole hidden human being. Diabolical. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's nuts that even happened. You know what's also diabolical? You're in here hanging out, whether you're part of the live crew or part of the replay gang, and you haven't hit that like button yet. Please do us a favor. We'd appreciate it. Please hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications, or we'll send Clay to your house.
To read to you.
No, that'll be Chris.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
We send Chris with a book. Speaking of which, okay, he's never coming on now. Alexis and Chris. Chris's cousin Sean too comes to visit, and Alexis's friend Dr. Manya, who they've been friends for like 6 years.
Yeah.
They both get there. What'd you think of these friends?
This was a waste of a visit. like there really wasn't anything to get out of that. You know, Sean too comes, sits with Chris, talks, and Chris is talking about it. She keeps bringing up the sex thing. Mm-hmm. Dr. Manya comes in, and I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be interesting. She's focused on here's some condoms, and when are you going to crack that young buck? Like that's what she's asking her, pretty much.
I ain't never had to work this hard for a YN before my life.
Never had to work this hard for you. When you gonna crack them, girl? They sound like two dudes in the locker room.
Only
you
thing
gonna crack that young buck?
I brought you some prophylactics.
Oh goodness.
And then we get to the whole thing. After a quick conversation, Shantu goes to sit down with Alexis. He comes back in like, all right, she got my vote.
Yeah, we good.
That was quick. Y'all talked for 2 seconds. I know it was a little longer, but that's all they showed us.
Yeah. I do love how Shantu, when he walked in with Chris, he goes, yeah, I looked at her. She does look a little older.
Yeah. Sanan's fan says this combo was hilarious. Monica says bad acting. Now I see Lucy B. I'm not even gonna message you. I'm not even gonna put that up on the screen. I'm tempted, but I'm gonna leave it because, like Dejan said, I just spit my drink out. Y'all are just mean. By the way, Elson said if a dude was acting the way Alexis is, then we would roast him. So you're saying we should be roasting Alexis for it? Is what you're saying?
Well, yeah, I really think Alexis just wants to sleep with him.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have any type of real connection to her, or else he'd have done it.
That's what Clay was doing with Tati. He wanted to sleep with her. By the way, Jada says, a YN Yanni? Really? Yes, compared to her.
Yeah. And they've been talking a year. A year they were talking before they met in person. Yeah. So if you're talking that much, wouldn't you want to get into some type of physical thing? Chris isn't interested.
I know you didn't see the previews, right? But like Mimi says, I want Chris to stop playing with Alexis and us, and it looks like next episode he's going to stop playing. But we also thought that with Britney and Ty, and that just did not go anywhere.
Right.
Because they sure played up the previews for Britney and Ty like, oh, is this where it goes down? And,
yeah,
you know, it looks like it's going to be some, yeah, okay. All right. Yes, like, just like Alexis wants to crack. That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
She's like Jared.
Yeah.
I've been talking a whole year. I just want to see what it's like. Just want to taste.
Speaking of Jared, we saw them earlier, right? Laying in the bed discussing Clay and Tati. And we find everybody has secrets. They started out with the secrets. Jared and Charlie started out with the secrets.
Yeah.
And then we find out Jared, unbeknownst to us, was previously married. And he had an interesting take on marriage.
Yeah, he was married for 3 years, and I just found it exhausting. Having to be fake and fake it every day. 3 years, I just found it exhausting. So he said it's probably why if I get married again, I got to find someone that doesn't make me feel exhausted every day. Jared is slick because here's what's funny. You hear some of the things Jared says with the fellas.
Yes.
But in his confessionals, Jared's a sharp dude. Yes. Very articulate.
Yes.
And so I feel like there's two sides to Jared.
Oh, he's slick. He's slick.
Oh, yeah.
He'll tell you everything.
Real quick. But there's two sides to him. But if marriage to you was exhausting for 3 years, and that you're gonna blame marriage, not the person you picked.
Yeah, marriage is only exhausting if you marry the wrong person.
It's not the institute of marriage that's exhausting. It's you picked somebody that you had to be fake with.
Or is it because he's thinking, my 2, her 4.
No,
I'm really tired.
Yeah, that's exhausting right there. When someone tell me they got 4 kids, I want a nap as soon as they tell me that. I'm like, nope.
So Nance fan says he doesn't know exhaustion until he lives with all them kids. Under the olive branch, it says Charlie's been laughing at Tatiana all week. Now it's her turn. It's about to be.
Yeah.
Dejan says Jared gives off supervillain vibes. Do you see it?
I do. I see it.
Yeah. And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for all these damn kids, not even these meddling kids.
Oh, shoot.
That's all it is. Sly says Jared is definitely a slick Rick, not invested. No, he is not. And Brandy says, hey, Jared is about to give Charlie her walking papers next week. You know, because here's the thing. It's interesting that this was something that was said. Because Kiki, after Clay and Tati left, Kiki leans over the couch with Charlie and Jared and says, I will fight you if you decide to leave.
And like how Charlie said, you think I'm going to leave him? And then Jared was just sitting there like, can we talk? Let's just kiss and say goodbye.
Felicia says Charlie thought she was getting her happily ever after. Boom, next episode, her karma.
Yeah.
Everybody is up on this one, man. Elsa says Charlie's about to trample on Jared with her stripes. Funny. That's a good one. Because he did call her a zebra from the get-go, right?
Yeah.
Sanans fan says he came all this way and on national TV to get some ass. Make it make sense.
If anyone, I'd rather get paid to go do it than to spend my own money to fly me out and hang out for 3 weeks. And I'm having to pay for an Airbnb for 3 weeks just to get some. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not the right thing to do, but I get it.
Or did he build it up in his head for so long?
4.5 years.
And it was just, okay.
Maybe it's just all right.
Or maybe all that love and joy over the 4.5 years escaped.
I think it escaped when he heard 4 kids. I think that's when he was like, nah.
Because he says the honeymoon phase is over. And there comes a point. You can see someone, you like that person, it's all good. Then you get to cracking and you're like, you know what? There are a couple things here that irritate me. And I don't need to be here anymore. And is that where he is? And does that, free him of being the villain? Or does he get to be the villain next week?
Well, we'll see. I mean, if you call that being the villain, I think he's already the villain when he told the confessional, I just want to crack Charlie because I've been talking all this time. He said that. So that wasn't edited. He said that.
She said 4 kids. I say I can do better. Oh, man. By the way, Tanya says, me and my ex had 7, and I promise you, the more children, what's that say? This side, all ours. They gave them tasks, their own best friend in sports and everything. We both are great friends and loved it all. So basically, the kids take care of them, especially if you have them spaced out enough. You got built-in babysitters, I guess.
Yeah, and I think that's great. Mm-hmm. If that works for you, it's not for everybody. And question: out of the combined kids, is any of them 4 kids from 4 different men, or 4 kids from 4 different mamas? And then y'all made it work. I'd love to see those couples tell me how. And it wasn't magical.
It was 4, man. It was 3.
At least 3.
Okay.
It's at least 3 or 4. So I'm just saying, there are exceptions to the rule, but I just think it's rare that Jared was going to be with somebody that has 4 kids by either 3 or 4 different men, and you're going to move for that. No.
I mean, it's a bigger house.
But he's leaving his 2 kids.
Good point. Because they're not coming along. You're right.
Yeah, they're not coming along, so he's going to leave his 2 kids.
Matt A says, before we get hyped up on the previews, don't forget the Clavacia baby storyline setup. Good point. Touche.
Yeah.
Because that was a big setup. Big setup. Yeah. Elson says, how many secrets can Jared hold? Jeez.
He's about to let go of 4.
By the way, Sly said this earlier before we get out of here. It says, tell this show has you speaking purplese. Purpellies.
Purpellies.
And there's a very interesting question here from Monica, right? Because you're talking about the fact that, yeah, you should not be drinking red wine from a champagne flute.
Right.
You've got red wine glasses, you've got white wine glasses, you've got champagne flutes. But what about a red cup, Terrell? Is that ghetto?
Yes. Because if you're drinking, let's say menage a trois, table wine, some crap, you can drink that. But you're not going to drink good wine out of a red cup because the glass, it helps with the flavor profile and all those different things. If you go to a wine tasting that shows you the different glasses, you will taste the difference in each glass based on how it's shaped. So you put in a solo cup, hopefully it's just cheap, box wine or something like that. But if you come to my house and you break out a solo cup for my wine, I'm like, you can't have this. There's juice in the refrigerator. You can go get that.
There's ice and there's juice and a juice
box.
There's
ice and a juice. You go get you some juice. You're not touching my wine with that solo cup.
I got some sparkling grape juice for you.
You're not ready for this yet. Get you some water.
Just mean, man. Damn. And Elle said, that's a great question. Who would bring their own solo cup?
Was there no solo cups in my house? For the crawfish bowl, yes, but nobody drank wine out of it.
Oh, my God. So Flavor T asked us, and let's do this before we get out of here. It's a great question. Flavor T. That was very different than what I just said.
Yeah.
I don't drink, so what's wrong with drinking in a flute?
Nothing. You can drink whatever you want in a flute, but the flute is made for certain beverages to go into it. If you're going to pour some OJ into your flute with no champagne, that's ridiculous. Just get you a solo cup and put your orange juice in that.
You do like people do around the country every Sunday. You pour orange juice and champagne in it.
Yeah, get you a flute, put some orange juice and champagne, you're golden. Just orange juice, pour that into a solo cup, step to the side.
And that's how you drink, according to Terrell. Hey, appreciate you guys hanging out with us, man. Whether you're part of the live crew or watching this as part of the replay gang later, do us a favor. Hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications.
Yep.
Wednesday, we're back with Somebody's Son, so you got time to watch it. And then we have a couple things out. So we may either have a random thoughts on Thursday or something else for you. So be on the lookout. And if you really like the content you want to support, please consider becoming a member. It's less than $3 a month. And we have the regulars. First episode we did just on that's members only live stream and replay. So it's members only content where we talk about Terrell's jury duty and covered week 1 of the Diddy trial. Interesting week.
Yeah.
Whew. Week 2 started off with a bang too. So
yeah.
Dear gosh, what's it going to be? All right, I'm Yanni Rude.
And I'm Just Terrell.
Make sure you follow us at Yanni Rude, at Just Terrell, and at the RGRT Pod.
Yeah, send us some of your random thoughts with the bullshit from the internet. We may talk about it on the show.
It's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts Podcast. Cheers.
Cheers.